Welcome to Radical Underdogs. If you like driving, I'm going to say why you should make it your goal to get out on track this year, and how you can make it fun and at least somewhat affordable in 2023. But why this focus on tracks? There are roads everywhere. Getting out on track, I think, is the best way to get that motoring fix, and I genuinely think this could make you a better on-road driver too. The biggest benefit for petrolheads, I think, is that getting out on the track gets the driving too fast bug out of your system. As a result, gives you a better mindset on the road, and that's not to mention the skills you pick up controlling a car when it goes wrong. Let's not forget, if you want to test the limits of your car on public roads, you're going to have to contend with the fact that when you find the limit, there's a tree or a ditch waiting for you. Not to mention you're probably breaking the law. But isn't motorsport just for millionaires? I don't think so, and here's why. Number one, track days. You probably all know about track days, you've already been on one yourself maybe. However, if you're anything like me, you might find it hard to enjoy yourself if you're flying around the track where you might end up with a big bill if it all goes wrong. Now most of the time things will turn out just fine, but it's not uncommon for things to go wrong on the track, and when something does go wrong or you run out of talent, you can do some damage. If you've got a car where the thought of an accident fills you with anxiety, you're probably not going to enjoy the day. If you're lucky enough to think about having a second car, then I think you can have loads of fun without the worry of not being able to get to work the next day. Or you might want to consider track day insurance, which you might be able to pick up for less than £100. There's loads of advice out there on your first track day, but whether it's your first or your 50th, if you keep an eye on your engine oil levels throughout the day with a nice warm-up lap and a nice warm-down lap for both your engine and your brakes, and maybe a tape somewhere to remind you to check your temperatures, you should be able to have a fun day out. If you want to get into club motorsport, doing a few track days is a great idea too. My one life hack tip for doing track days over the last 10 years is check about arriving late. Nearly everyone lets you arrive late if you have a long trip to make, and no one loves getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Although I should say, if you're doing your first one, the sighting laps are important and they generally happen first. I do think that picking one with a circuit has plenty of tarmac runoff is best, especially if it's your first time. Bedford, Snetterton, Silverstone all make it quite hard for you to hit the wall. Track days are great. You get to drive some fantastic circuits. If you're in the UK, you've got some of the best tracks in the world are open to you. It can be quite expensive though, so you should budget at least a few £100s to make the most of the day. The entry might be £100, £150. You might spend the same amount on fuel as well. I budget a litre for every 2 minutes in my 1.6 MX-5. And if you're bringing some friends along, you might consider hiring a garage too. So I'm not pretending this is going to be a cheap day out. It's not for everyone. But if you are able to save up and think about it, then you probably won't regret it. Number two, karting. It's not just for kids and stag do's. Pretty much all the driving greats start their career in go-karting for a reason. It's one of the purest driving experiences you can get. And yes, it is kid-friendly, but you might not know these days that the top level of karting is far, far more expensive than club motorsport, with teams, and read this, parents, spending tens of thousands on each race weekend. Now, for the rest of us, I think karting presents a great alternative to track days. It's probably the cheapest way of going actual racing. Remember, there's no racing at all on track day. You don't have to worry about maintenance or crashing your commuting tool like on the track day. And you can even do it if you don't have a car. There are indoor venues up and down the country, but my favourite are the outdoor circuits. There are places like Buckmore Park in Kent, with its breathtaking change in elevation, the international level facilities, and a bridge like Suzuka at Kart PFI in Lincolnshire, Daytona's karting in Sandown, which is in Surrey and within reach of literally millions of people. The best thing about karting though is the price. Nowhere else can you do racing in real life for the price of a night out. Personally, I think the practice sessions offer some of the best value motorsport out there. Number three, driving skills or experience days. There are loads of options here, and I think these make much better gifts than a physical item. If you're into the artistry of the finest supercars, you certainly won't forget driving one, even if it is only for a couple of laps. I've done a couple of skid pans too as well, and I honestly think this is one of the things that all new drivers should think about. If you know what you want to do, it's often cheaper to go direct to the provider than using one of the experience day companies, so do shop around. It's a bit more than karting, but quite a bit less than the track day, and maybe a bit more educational. Lastly, club motorsport arrive and drive. Let's say instead of replacing your night out, you want to replace your family holiday this year. If you're seriously into motorsport and want to take it to the next level, this option is definitely for you. There's a bit more prep and it's really beyond the scope of what this video is about. But if you are interested in giving motorsport a proper go and you have the budget for it, this might be for you. The budget and the effort involved is really a lot more than all the other options that we've kind of talked about today. But if you are interested in this and other things motorsport, do consider liking, subscribing and hit the bell for this channel. Thanks very much for watching.